Tony and Leah, good afternoon.
Good
Thank you for joining
afternoon.
us.
Of course, thanks. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you. Now I'm going to find Richard. So I'll see you later.
Good luck with that.
What's up, Tony and Leah? How are you? Did you guys know that I was the host of this deal?
No, very excited about that.
Surprise!
I mean, they brought the big guns in, obviously, today. We see that.
Thank you for saying that. Francisque and Judy have been so kind. I've been doing this the past couple of years and absolutely love it. They bring in the big guests as well, like this guy who just joined us. How about turn your phone sideways instead of vertical? It'll be better. Watch that. Bang. Look at that. All right, guys. I don't know how familiar you are with Industry Week here on EPARTRADE, but this is a worldwide audience, all platforms of motorsports. They were just talking TRD and stuff, and we get to promote the sport of NHRA drag racing. It is my understanding you just made a big announcement today, Richard, regarding a new vice president at Elite Motorsports. Why don't you
I
tell us?
did. I did. Super excited. I've been, I've been trying to get her to join up for about 5 years. She's been tough, but super excited to have Michelle join our side of the group here and as vice president of operations of Elite Motorsports. And we couldn't be more excited about what's going on right now.
Michelle Domagala, who is the wife of Mike Domagala, who is Leah's crew chief. And that to me is, I think, where we need to start. And Leah, I would like you to lead this because you're kind of the cornerstone, in my opinion. And this has expanded out through you. How has this all happened? You're coming back to Top Fuel next year, but we wanted Tony to drive, and that's going to happen with this arrangement between your team and Elite Motorsports. I'd like to hear you lay it out for everybody.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think when we talk about any type of motorsports, you're thinking of pieces and parts and people. And I think the people is where this really absolutely starts. Of course, Tony had been to NHRA drag races before, but once we got together, he's going to more as history knows. He's been raced my car when I got out to have our son Dominic. And throughout the last couple of years, we've grown a great friendship with Richard Freeman. And he is really the visionary of what we have, as you see, TSR Elite, not only marketing alliance, but somewhere I had to kick my husband off to go race so I could get back in my race car. But it really is about we all in all types of motorsports work so hard at what we do, and we all put winning as the monumental paramount thing to do. And as difficult as that is, you still have to enjoy what you do. Otherwise, everybody would quit and move on to something else. So ensuring that we continue to race, make money for our partners, and be a sustainable avenue with people that we enjoy racing with is what you see here today. I still get to race with my husband, who is my team owner, and also against my husband with Richard Freeman, who is the team owner of their first Top Fuel dragster. So when we talk about communication, I don't think that there's been more phone calls that we have had, and including Michelle Domagala, in what we're building right now. And that's something that I know Richard will speak to, which is really the first of its kind, I feel, in the drag racing space when it comes to business and how to continue partnerships moving forward. Because at the low level or the eyesight level, everyone thinks it's all competition, but really competition is down here and collaboration is at the top. So again, we are competing, but we're also collaborating.
I love hearing that. Industry Week has been very informative so far, and listening to some of the discussions about these other series with like large television contracts in the millions and whatnot. We certainly, as drag racing, want to get to that point, but it's you got to gut it out. Till then, Richard, it was over a year ago you talked about wanting to go Top Fuel racing, and now you're doing it, and your driver is Tony Stewart, who we claim as a drag racer now. I think is great. Talk a little bit about how that came together. And Top Fuel, very expensive, huge investment. You've been able to find a title sponsor, R+L Carriers coming on board, going to be on the side of Tony's dragster. Talk about putting this whole thing together.
Yeah, I think we've kind of we sit here all day long and talk about how it all come together. But Leah touched on it. Tony and I become friends through Leah. I figured out real quick that him and I had we saw things a lot the same, and so throughout conversations and a lot of late night talking, and to be honest, I think I have a different viewpoint on how our sport looks today compared to what it did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and what it's going to look like moving forward. I spend almost every day working for our partners, and whether that be R+L or Mark Melling and the Melling Group, or Renai, or whoever it may be, we're trying to bring all these people together, and that's what's different today. People don't just write checks to put their name on a race car, and I think that's one thing that me, Leah, Tony, Michelle, Sarah, our entire group. I mean, that's what we do every day from the time we get up till we go to bed. And it is a collaboration of things. The racing, and you hear me, Joe, you've heard me say this, so that's just a piece of the pie. And it's actually the smallest piece. And I think that now Tony may not say that, or John Force may not say that, or some of these other guys, but as you see, things are shifting, and it's going to take all of us in order to keep doing what we love to do.
I'd love to hear Tony talk a little bit about it. You've heard Leah, you've heard Richard. You're probably the most well-known to the audience that's out there watching through your various forms of motorsports expertise, Hall of Fames, etc. How do you see this all coming together, Tony?
It was really unique, honestly. And I remember the first phone call with Richard when he came to us with the idea of taking our two programs and merging them together from the marketing standpoint. And this whole program came in two phases. It really started with the marketing side. And Richard came to us literally a year ago with the idea. It just took me a while to get my brain to think outside the box and think about a different way of doing things. And Richard's really on a track that I think you're going to see. If people are smart, I think they're going to adopt this going forward. And I think people are going to have to do this. Just like we talked about on TV packages, it's so competitive right now. The racing is competitive by itself. The competitive part, in all honesty, is for these teams to get the funding to compete at a high level and to do a program properly. Not cutting corners, not skimping, doing what it takes to get the job done correctly. So when Richard came to us with that aspect of taking our programs together and taking two nitro teams, merging it with all of Richard's Pro Stock teams, his mountain motor team, all of his assets, we collectively as a group can go to any corporation and have a level, whether they're $100,000 partner or a multi-million-dollar partner. We have all these assets that we have to offer these guys. So it was really Richard's brainchild. And once we wrapped our head around it and Lee and I got involved, Richard talked about it. I mean, the communication's been unbelievable. So good at some point that I remember talking to Richard on the phone, and I said, Richard, you have spoke to my wife more in the last 2 weeks than I have spoke to my wife in the last 2 weeks. So there's been a ton of work that's gone into it. And, like Richard said, I mean, that's what he thinks about every day when he wakes up. Leah's very much that way. I mean, I truly believe Leah in drag racing is the same capacity that Kevin Harvick was in NASCAR. I mean, she drives, she does her own marketing, she does great with our partners, great with logistics and what it takes to run and operate a team. So I'm just a dumb race car driver, and luckily I've been successful doing that. But that's my strong suit, is driving race cars. Leah's well-rounded as not only a driver, but she could be a team owner and run her own race team. Richard's a very successful team owner. But to come up with the three of us and put all this together and come up with an idea to do things different than how it's done in the past, I think is really going to be groundbreaking for all of us. And it gives me an opportunity to, I got fired at the end of the year by my own wife from my own race team. But with Richard and Leah's involvement and working really hard, I have a car to drive next year. Now, the hard part is I have to race against her at some point. But, I think that's going to be fun for us as a family. And we get to do it together. We get to do it with our son, Dominic, who literally did not miss a race the entire season. So for us, it's a really neat deal for our family, and it's a great way to take our program to the next level with Richard and Elite Motorsports, and create this TSR Elite Alliance, and really work hard to build our programs even stronger than what they both already were.
I'm very excited to hear you say that. Also, I saw the social media has been amazing. Dominic seeing his first reindeer, or dogs, as he calls them. That was great. Like watching you go through that moment and seeing the Tony Stewart hard-nosed racer guy, like to learn so much more about you and your personality, and watch you, I don't want to use the word soften, but whatever that is, when you become emotionally attached to your child and go through those experiences, it has really been great. Leah, on the other hand, she came up very, very through the hard knocks world of drag racing, like fighting for rides. I remember her opportunity with the Dote family, and she got a ride, and then the ride went away. And then with Vandergriffen, it went away, and just had so much grit and determination to get to this point. Now she seems to be making it all work. Leah, I'd love to hear you talk a little bit about those lessons and how you're applying them to this situation.
Sure. Well, I think the key word there is sustainability. And yes, when you're young in the industry, you focus on sponsors, and sponsorships don't necessarily pay the bills. And I'd like to really peel back, right, onion layers here with Richard of what has it been that we've been talking about, right? What about what we're doing is different? And we would like to share that. We want other teams to be successful in the ways that we're working. So as I've learned through Dote Racing and at others and Schumacher, it really is what you add to that partner. And so from a B2B aspect, that's where the focus has been. You can work all you want on the race car and the team and your discipline, that's fine. But how do you keep and maintain a driver in a seat? How do I continue my career? Well, that's the marketing and the budgets. Well, the budgets you create from the back end of the B2B. So for instance, we have dozens of partners, and so does Richard. And when you put those together, we're not talking about necessarily a brand awareness alliance. We're looking at, okay, with R+L Carriers, 21,000 trucks on the road, right? That fleet is large. Their employee level is large. Well, you look at every single portion of that, from eyewear protection to supplies, to oil, to housing, to every part of a business. You really have to dive deep. Hi, Richard. You have to dive deep into being a part of that specific business, but you do it dozens of times to each one, and you become like a micro professional of that industry to know just enough about how you can utilize your other resources to help them do better business. And that is where a lot of our communication stands on is who are you working with right now? Where are their trouble spots? Where are they looking to grow? I think I could help them here in this sector with this communication and network that I have. That's with Rush Truck Centers, very large. And Richard, obviously, of course, is in the truck and automotive business, and the opportunities they're pretty much endless. So those are I guess the largest lesson that I've learned is use and work with your network and use your brain to help solve someone else's problem. The problem isn't finding budgets for your race car. Like, that's so soul-minded. You need to create other people's problems to be your problems. And once you help solve theirs, then you help solve yours.
Richard, expand on that, please.
There's nothing else to say. She just said it all. She's I will tell you from all of our talkings, Leah bit I couldn't have found the best person to be a part of what we had envisioned. She bought it real quick, and she had to sell it to Tony because it's so different. And at the end of the day, it comes with trust and communicating between all of us. We've run into some things where, for example, like other trucking companies. Well, with some of these partners, they have to change some of their mindset, right? And so, we're doing that. They're like buying into the fact that they can work together and other things that there's just a lot of it to go on. And Leah, she explains it really well. I don't know if you can expound on what she said. It's fixing all that other stuff that then turns into fixing your problem of paying for your racing, right? And through whatever Tony has built, through what we have built and all of our assets, we're offering our partners something that's different. And I think you'll see that in our pit area. We're going to start out with traditional hospitality, but it's going to look different. It's going to feel different. And we're gonna kind of change the game up there and offer our partners something a little bit more. We want our partners to talk and be out there amongst our competitors' partners, and so it's a little different feel, but we believe it to pay big dividends for all of us and our competitors.
That's all very exciting. Next year, the 75th season of NHRA drag racing. You guys know it's my goal to turn every neutral, uninterested person into a fan of NHRA drag racing and have this thing grow together. I don't understand why it's not the biggest, most popular motorsport in the world, because the cars are the fastest and the drivers are the coolest, and it's just so intense and extreme. I love the fact that you guys are going for that and trying to build upon it and do something unique beginning next year. But I would like to talk with Tony, who is the most known in this group, about his drag racing experience. You're the regular season champion for the NHRA. It was just a couple of years ago you were running an A Fuel, getting your feet wet. I watched a clip the other day you were on with Dale Jr. talking about, like, man, those test sessions with DSR, not a smart thing to do, right? But like, hindsight is 2020. Now you've had multiple seasons of experience. You can speak to the world about what this thing is that we love so much. NHRA drag racing, 2 cars, staging up, trying to get from this spot to that spot first. It's a lot more than people really see on the surface.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely by far that 4 seconds that you hit the gas, and it's under 4 seconds during our run, but in that 4 second span, I remember when Leah and I started dating, I read an interview that she had done, and somebody asked her what she thought the difference was between what NASCAR does and what NHRA does. And I thought her answer was brilliant and didn't really fully understand it until I started driving as well. But she said, what NASCAR does in 3.5 hours, we do in 3.5 seconds. And literally take the drama and the excitement and the intensity of a 3.5 hour NASCAR race and condense that down to 3.5 seconds. That's what we do. I even told our Cup drivers last year in our last season of Cup, a year ago, I guess. They asked what it was like, and I said, you guys know how we make split-second decisions in the race car? And they're like, of course. I said, now take that split-second decision you have to make and make a split-second decision off of that. That's how fast we have to react in drag racing, because if it gets away from you and you don't catch it quick, you're either going to crash a race car or you're going to blow. At least in the nitro cars, you highly risk blowing the engines up, and it's easily a 6-figure expense when you do that. So for us to sit there and what we do all the time in drag racing, we have to constantly be on top of it. There isn't anything on the planet that accelerates as hard as these nitro cars do. It's absolutely incredible. And the hard part is, people say, what does it feel like? I said, I can't even tell you what it feels like, because your brain is so trained that once that light changes and you hit the gas, your eyes are focused forward, but your brain is focused backwards on those rear tires and feeling everything that those rear tires are going through and feeling. Because if it starts to shake, you have to make that very, very small split-second decision of, can I stay with it and it's going to drive out of it, or do I have to pedal it? Do I have to just abort? You have to make those decisions so fast, and it's way quicker than anything we've done in any other form of motorsport. And that was truly the hardest thing for me to get caught up on, was getting my brain to learn how to process the information that my eyes were bringing in, and process it and make decisions off of that faster. So, physically driving the car wasn't the hard part. It was the mental side of it, of getting my brain to be able to be up to speed as fast as what the car was traveling. So it's definitely a sport that I tell everybody. I said, if you wanted to just go to a NASCAR race and sit in stands on race day, I said, you're better off staying at home and watching it on TV. The broadcast is great. You get to hear the radio chatter. You get to see the replays. You get to see telemetry. In drag racing, it's 10 times better to be at the track versus watching it on TV, because When you buy a ticket, you get to go everywhere but the starting line. That's literally the only place you can't go. So your whole family can be down there when they're rebuilding the motors in between runs. They get to be there when the teams warm the cars up, to smell the nitro, to feel the vibration of everything. And you don't feel that in any other form of motorsports. I mean, we're driving Top Fuel dragsters and funny cars that have almost 12,000 horsepower. That's half of the Daytona 500 starting field combined. So it's just an incredible experience that in the last 2 years I've had the unique experience with these fans that have come to the track and they're like, we've never been to one. I said, well, what brought you? And they're like, well, we came to see you. I said, if you have time at the end of the day, come back and tell me what you thought. The most common response of that at the end of the day, if they had time to come back, was we had no idea. And you can't express it on TV. You can't get the same sensations you get at the racetrack. So we've had a lot of fans that have come because they've heard me talk about that, and they're like, "You're right. There is when you stand behind one of those cars, and even the fans in the stands, you can literally feel your insides move when that car goes by from the concussion of the exhaust." So there is no other form of motorsport that gives you that heightened sense of awareness of what's going on and what it feels like to be around those cars.
So exciting to hear you say that. And we got to keep going, right? There's going to be a show on Vice Network going behind the scenes. NHRA, many drivers were involved in that. Richard, we've got a couple minutes left. I want you to have a little fun with me and these two here. So they're going to race, Richard. What do you think? Who's going to
Can't
win?
wait.
Who's going to win? Like, let's just make them listen to us talk about them, right? Like Tony versus Leah, the first time they come up side by side, it could be in qualifying, doesn't matter. It's going to be fun. But the first time in eliminations, what do you think we're going to see?
I think you're going to see an ass whooping. That's what I've told Tony last night. You know, that's just and he's going to have to be okay with sleeping on the couch. I got Leah. I can take care of her. It's no problem there. She's going to take an ass whooping. That's what's going to happen. And we have had a lot of fun with that. And as you can tell, Leah told me yesterday. She said, "Listen, Tony's been working out like every day and trying to lose all this weight." She said, "Where were you at for the last 2 years?" And I said, "He's getting ready. By God, the ass whooping's coming." So it's going to be fun.
Leah, what about that?
Oh, it's fun. He can dream. It's fine. He's a visionary. You know what I mean? He's got big ideas, and some of them work, some don't. No, it is going to be extremely fun, and especially because our teams are working together, and it's important to note that they are not identical operations. The way that Mike Green over there at Freeman is building with what was Josh Hart's parts and pieces, is dedicated towards that route for now. And I want to point out Neil Strasbaugh, my original crew chief, Tony's crew chief for the last 2 years, the one that brought me to the heels of a world championship last round final race, and putting Tony in the regular season championship. I want everybody to remember that that's still my guy. Him and Mike Domagal, still my guys. And this 50-pound lighter driver, okay, we're excited about that. Gonna make some way in our 60 feet in the finish line. Shush. Why is your face so big, Richard, right now? You're like the number one on the screen.
It's awesome.
But all right, from the last 2 years, I've been on the sidelines and I've been so impressed with Tony's driving. There have been some other drivers that have tried to rattle him and they've quickly found out that you can't. And I've been in his corner, and I'm excited about the things I've learned from watching him drive and his emotional stability. That I get to try that out when we're testing, right? We're going to get a grip of runs, maybe 15 or so before the season starts. And that's going to be as much as I get to be ready as if I left in 2023. So we're gonna have like smack talking jars and full of, I don't know, monies, and there's going to be bets here and there throughout the weekends, crew guys. I mean, all across the entire season. So we know at the end of the day that we're a married couple. This is what we do and this is what we love. And the fact that we get to do it with and against each other is something super unique. And it's a real great driving force of me getting back in the car is kicking his ass. I mean, like I said this earlier to Tony, I was like, everyone else has got to kick your ass. He's like, everybody? I said, some people. Some people have got to say I beat Tony Stewart. I only get to say that when we're hiking tabletop.
You realize it's a smaller list than a larger list, right?
I do, but I want to be on it.
I
Here we
want to
go.
be on it.
Yeah, let's listen, Tony. Like I could see, it's like you twitched a little bit there. Are you okay hearing this stuff?
Well, no, I had PTSD from a couple days ago when we hike here in Arizona, and we hike up this mountain to a spot they call tabletop. It's where some guys took a picnic table and hiked it up to the top in pieces,
Almost
put it
1,000
together.
feet.
Yeah, it's a for an old guy like me that's fat, it's a hike. It's tough. And the only time she said the guys can't rattle me, and they really don't. Nobody's been able to rattle me on the starting line. I got rattled the other day because I was following her up the mountain, and I look at her ankles, and she's got ankle weights on, and she's just steadily walking away from me, and I'm breathing like I'm out of oxygen, and she's just cruising right up there. So that's the only time I've been rattled, is watching her do that.
All right. Well, if you can't get excited about this, then you're not alive. It doesn't matter what style of racing you like, or whether you're interested in Formula One or NASCAR or IndyCar or otherwise. Seeing these two get ready to go through another journey and battle it out on the track, but also grow their business together, I think it is going to be great. Now, Richard, we got like 1 minute left. Got to talk Pro Stock. You know me.
Yep.
Pro Stock is still a big part of Elite Motorsports and what you're planning. You put smoke in one of the cars. He told the world that it's exciting, it's hard. What's new for Pro Stock in 2026 with you guys?
I don't know that there's anything new right now. I will tell you that that still is on the burner for me. I think that having a Dodge car out there would be fantastic. We're working through some of that with NHRA right now. I don't feel like that all the rules would lend to that being a good idea. So we're not going to do that with Tony right at this point. But I'd keep an eye on what's going on in Pro Stock. Because I think 27 could be exciting. We'll see here, and we're going to have Tony Stewart in a Pro Stock car somehow, some way. I may have to strangle Leah, but it's going to happen.
Tony, why does this guy care so much, right? He must really love Pro Stock.
I think Richard's pretty passionate about anything that he puts his mind to. And one thing I've learned about him since we became friends is he doesn't do anything half-ass. If he does it, he's all in 110%. And like he said, I mean, that's what he wakes up thinking about. That's what he goes to bed thinking about. That's what he has dreams thinking about, is how to make his program successful. And he does whatever it takes to get him there. So it makes it fun to be a part of his program next year. And I'm excited. I mean, I want to get in a Pro Stock car at some point. I mean, I got to do some testing with him, and had two excellent teachers with Eric Enders and Aaron Stanfield. So you couldn't have asked for two better people to teach you how to drive a Pro Stock car. But Richard makes this fun, and that's what I'm looking forward to next year.
On that note, with those two, we want to wish them good luck this weekend.
Yes.
And Richard, you want to tell those that don't know what's happening this weekend and how you're involved?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm again done something stupid, Joe. I built a brand new Pro Mod car. Justin Elks just finished it. It just left the shop yesterday, and so Erica's driving that car. I bought the car that Ken Cartuccio was driving last year.
Okay.
Aaron Stanfield's driving that car. Both of them starting out this weekend at the first of the three Winter Series races that West Buck puts on. So I'm leaving just as soon as I get off the phone here. I got to go get my stuff together, and we're going to head out. They're down there now testing. Hopefully they haven't tore anything up yet. But we're going to go down there and see if we can do some damage and maybe win my own $1 million back.
There you go. Drag Illustrated, Snowbird Nationals, and the Drag Illustrated Winter Series happening in Bradenton, Florida. Huge investment. If you're anywhere near that part of the country, you should definitely go out there, support the track, support the series, support DI and all these great Pro Mod cars. You're putting them in Pro Mod cars, but you're also, I hear they're both making laps in Top Fuel dragsters, Erica Enders and Aaron Stanfield.
That's the hope. We first and foremost is making sure Tony's deal is good and sound, and we got our first brand new car. They just rolled it over yesterday to the shop. So, and I think, Tony, I don't know if it's okay, but I believe that is number 14 chassis number out of PBRC. We're all super excited about that. We had to pay a little for that. So, no. But it's exciting that kind of all these little things come into play, Joe. So we're gonna make sure that we get make sure Tony's deal is good and solid before we do that. Hopefully by the summer months, we may be able to get Erica and them in there, but we'll only do that when time allows. And Leah's got some time. Tony's got some time to go make sure they're comfortable in the car.
What do you guys make of all the crazy silly season stuff that has happened in NHRA this year? It's like blown up. It's popped with, obviously you're part of the story, and Josh Hart was on yesterday with us. He was very complimentary to you and the business to business stuff that's happening behind the scenes. He's like, wow, it's going pretty good. Brittany retires. Josh Hart goes over there. Alexis is going to John Force. The Proc family, they leave as two-time world champions. That car is available. It's been crazier than I've ever experienced it, Leah.
Well, I mean, I think we got our first taste of it when we had day after day or week after week of our own announcements and in September and then into October. So once we were done with our stuff, we were like, took a nice deep breath and we just watched the show. That, I mean, basically, it reminded me of when I was, just a true fan at home, logging onto the internet and checking out the rumor mill and like, what's happening and who's going where? Where's Gary Selza going? I think it really gives the excitement back into the sport for the fans' perspective. They feel invested. They're following along with what's happening instead of, oh, the first race and someone's over here, someone's over here. It shows the true nature of what's happening during the most important time of the entire season, which is the countdown. All of these conversations and changes are happening while you're trying to make a championship win happen. Crazy.
Wild stuff. Tony, I mentioned the Vice show. I remember seeing you in the promo where you say, like, you got to live this. You got to be all in or all out. So I'm assuming that you're involved in the Vice NHRA behind the scenes show somewhat. How important do you think that is for drag racing to showcase what's going on behind the scenes?
I think it's huge. I mean, I think drag racing is a little different from all the other forms of motorsports I've been a part of because it's the success of the car isn't necessarily in the driver's hands as much as what I'm used to. It's really in the tuners, those crew chiefs that are in there studying all the data and the telemetry and trying to figure out with track conditions, with weather conditions, what that car can actually produce for an ET down the racetrack. So I think this is a good opportunity to really show the drivers of the sport and really give them a behind the scenes. I mean, I know we shot at our ranch in Indiana and had a lot of fun that day. So, I mean, to show what our life is like, not only at the track with what we do, but at the same time, and literally this last year's probably been one of the biggest adjustments in my life with our son Dominic, but showing how we create that balance in our life, and that's due to Leah. So, having Vice there and having fans have an opportunity to see not only what we do at the racetrack for a living, but what we do when we do have time to go home and how we spend those days, I think is equally as important.
Very exciting. The 6 weeks leading up to the Amalie Motor Royal NHRA Gator Nationals, the first race of the 75th season. It will be on Vice once a week. Great way to get ready for the season. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Very exciting. Richard, go have fun in Bradenton.
Joe, sorry to interrupt. I heard we've got a special guest, a last minute addition.
A special
Tony's
guest.
gonna love this.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Boy, there goes the
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Alexis and I and that wonderful wife of yours are going to gang up on you. I just wanted to just going to leave first. Hey, Richard, that was
How are
Take all
you?
three of you to handle me, you know that.
that was a great interview. Excellent.
Thank you.
Awesome to see you.
I love you. I'm glad you liked my tree. I did that while I was recovering from a little situation, but I feel better now. So I'm going to be at PRI. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all
Good. We'll see you there.
for sure. We got to talk. I want to come too, Richard.
Come on.
All right.
Richard, thank you very much. Tony and Leah, thank you so much for being with us today. What a great session. Wishing you the absolute best for the new season. We'll probably see you next week at PRI. And again, wonderful to have you on. Great honor.
Thanks.
I love y'all.
Joe?
Hey, we want to thank you for watching. Now, be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the bell so you're always up to date with the latest racing technology, industry insights, and exclusive content from EPARTRADE. In racing, every second counts. This is EPARTRADE, the premier business-to-business platform for the performance and racing industry. We connect buyers and suppliers 24/7 worldwide. Racing never stops, neither do we. Discover cutting-edge products and services from around the globe, gaining insights from our live platform, daily newsletters, weekly webinar series, and our highly anticipated annual Race Industry Week. EPARTRADE.com. The racing industry, every minute, every day.
Let's go, boys.
How many Kings have we got racing today? All of them.
I got nothing to lose.
As you can see, we've had another beautiful day on the Isle of Man.
We'll do some racing this weekend. It's going to be a blast.
ARP, the ultimate fasteners for whatever you build. To get the best performance, always follow ARP's installation instructions included with the product. For the latest torque specs, go to arpinstructions.com.
When it comes to pushing the limits of performance, the pros know there's no room for compromise. At Crowder Cams, we don't just engineer camshafts and valve train components, we redefine what power means. Since 1955, Crowder Cams has been the name trusted by racers, engine builders, and gearheads around the globe. Whether you're building a street machine, a dragster, or a track car, Crowder Cams provides the muscle you need to dominate. And with Crowder, victory is within your reach.
Not all trailer cabinets are built for the long road ahead. Aluminum Econo trailer cabinets from C-Tech Manufacturing are engineered to last and ready to ship today. Each Econo cabinet is packed with exclusive features like motion latch drawers and gasket lock countertops, all made under one roof in our Wisconsin headquarters. Shop Econo online today.
If you're watching this video, you might be wondering, what is WPC? WPC is a surface treatment designed to reduce friction and increase the strength of metal parts. As much as it might seem like a coating, WPC is actually a surface treatment. Think of it like shot painting, but the media is much finer, like talc. So what you're left with is a super hard, smooth surface that actually has some proprietary dry lubricants embedded within it. For more information, visit WPCtreatment.com.
Scott Lewis and Associates, the sales, marketing, and branding specialist for the automotive performance industry since 1988. We get our manufacturers on track by opening an extensive distribution network, providing product training to sales staff, creating fully integrated sales and marketing strategies, building successful industry partnerships, attending trade shows, events, and races, offering first-class support to customers. SLAI delivers solutions that win you sales. To get in touch with an SLAI representative, call 516-378-6100. Go to scottlewisinc.com or email info@scottlewisinc.com.
With roots in the Midwest that date back well before the Model T, Fifth Third Bank has a long history of serving the needs of automotive companies. While much has changed over the years, our passion for helping businesses put cars on the road and on the track has not. Today, we are more committed than ever as a member of SEMA, a founding member of PRI, and a sponsor of multiple race teams across several racing series.
For over a decade, Fifth Third Bank has been a staunch supporter of our industry and a great partner for many companies in the motorsports field.
Our business has been growing extremely fast, and really we could not be where we are today without Fifth Third. They provided amazing strategic advice, the capital we need to support our phases of growth.
They are true partners for me now, and what they do with their involvement in motorsports is untouched in this community.
Where can we take your business? Fifth Third Bank.
Your whole day rides on your diesel truck. Don't let anything slow it down. Keep life and drive with America's #1 DEF brand. Only Blue DEF products are triple filtered and guaranteed pure. And Blue DEF Platinum helps prevent deposits before they create problems. So nothing stands between you and the day, wherever it takes you. Count on Blue DEF and Blue DEF Platinum. Guaranteed for what drives you.